before tanks, before drones, even before gunpowder, the most horrifying terror on the battlefield could come in the shape of four legs, dogs. In the chaos of a Roman campaign, amid clashing swords, shouting legionaries, and flying javelins, a silent shadow often moved ahead of the front lines. Muscular, armored, and trained to kill on command, this was no stray. It was the Canis Pugnax, Rome's war dog, literally meaning combat dog. It was bred not for companionship, but for battle. These dogs broke enemy formations, guarded camps at night, and tracked guerrillas through caves and forests. They wore spiked collars, and sometimes light bronze armor. They could march 20 miles a day beside legions and identify enemies by scent alone. Yet despite their battlefield impact, they're almost absent from history books. No grand statues, no epic poems, but Roman soldiers knew them well. Many trusted their lives to these animals and honored them in death. This is the true story of Rome's forgotten weapon, engineered, deployed, and respected. Not myth, not legend. Military history, hidden in plain sight. The Canis Pugnax was not a naturally occurring breed. It was deliberately engineered by the Roman military, just like their roads, forts, and siege weapons. Its origins trace back to the Molossian hound, a massive dog from Epirus, modern-day Albania and northwestern Greece. Greek shepherds used these dogs to guard livestock against wolves and bandits. Ancient writers like Aristotle and Virgil describe them as loyal to their masters but capable of tearing a lion's throat if provoked. When Rome absorbed Greece in the 2nd century BCE, they didn't just take art and philosophy, they took dogs. Roman breeders began a systematic crossbreeding program. They crossed the Molossian with Italian mastiffs for discipline and stamina, and later with Celtic and Germanic war dogs captured in northern campaigns to add speed, aggression, and cold weather resilience. The result was a new animal, 60 centimeters or 24 inches tall, 40 to 50 kilograms or 90 to 110 pounds. Dark fur for night concealment, deep bark, strong jaws, and a natural guarding instinct. But raw power wasn't enough. The Romans needed absolute control. Their training began at 8 weeks old. Pups learned whistle commands for advance, hold, and release command to be obeyed instantly, even amid chaotic screams, fire, and clashing steel. Crucially, they were scent imprinted on Roman soldiers. By sleeping in tents and absorbing the smell of leather armor, wool cloaks, and sweat, each dog learned to distinguish friend from foe by smell alone. An enemy in Gallic wool, attack; a wounded legionary, stand down. By 6 months, a Canis Pugnax could march 35 kilometers or 22 miles in a day, sometimes carrying small packs with food, messages, or medical supplies. They weren't just strong. They were disciplined, reliable, and fully integrated into the Roman military machine. The Canis Pugnax first gained public attention not on the battlefield but in the Roman arena. By the 2nd century BCE, public games had become massive spectacles of violence. Dogs were used as executioners, released to hunt down condemned criminals or fight lions, bears, and wild boars. They were often kept fasting for days to heighten aggression. Some became famous given names, cheered by crowds, even treated like four-legged gladiators. But Rome was never just about spectacle. When Roman legions encountered enemy war dogs used by Celts, Germans, and Britons, dogs that leaped over shields, bit at soldiers' legs, and died defending their fallen masters, the army saw tactical potential. The key Roman innovation wasn't just using dogs, it was controlling them. Unlike tribal dogs that attacked anything that moved, the Canis Pugnax was trained to obey commands, recognize allies by scent, and hold position under fire. It acted like a legionary, disciplined, precise, and mission-focused. This made them invaluable in real campaigns. In 231 BCE, during the Roman reconquest of Sardinia, guerrilla fighters hid in mountain caves. Human soldiers struggled to track them. Consul Marcus Pomponius Matho deployed war dogs to flush rebels from hiding, a task only possible with superior scent and agility. In 197 BCE, in northern Italy, Roman forces faced a tight enemy shield wall on a narrow road. Cavalry couldn't flank. A frontal assault would be costly. So commanders unleashed 20 armored Canis Pugnax, 50 yards ahead of the first cavalry unit. The dogs slammed into the line like living battering rams, shattering formation and creating panic. Roman cavalry then surged through the gaps, turning stalemate into victory. In Gaul and Aquitania, enemy cavalry charges were neutralized by training dogs to target horses' noses. A single deep bite caused horses to rear violently, throwing riders and collapsing the charge before it began. There's even evidence of a rare extreme tactic: incendiary dogs. Some sources describe dogs carrying small clay pots of burning oil on their backs. A handler would light a wick, send the dog into enemy ranks, and the pot would shatter, spraying fire onto shields and skin. This was almost certainly exceptional, and not standard tactic due to the dog's low survival rate. But the psychological terror fire, snarls, and chaos could break morale instantly. Visually, their military role is confirmed. The column of Marcus Aurelius in Rome shows dogs marching in formation with legionaries during the Marcomannic Wars. They aren't decorative, they're positioned like soldiers, proof that their role was tactical, not symbolic. In daily camp life, the Canis Pugnax was more than a weapon, it was a working partner. Every Roman camp or castra assigned one dog per century, a unit of about 80 men for night patrol. These dogs circled the perimeter hourly, using hearing and scent far sharper than any human sentry. Their response was trained and precise. First, a low guttural growl, a warning. If ignored, a full attack, often targeting the femoral artery in the thigh to disable or kill quickly and silently. This wasn't random aggression, it was a graded protocol, just like a soldier raising a weapon before firing. Beyond security, the dogs contributed to survival. On long campaigns through forests or mountains, food ran low. The Canis Pugnax doubled as a hunter, tracking and killing wild boar, deer, or hare to supplement grain rations. A single successful hunt could feed a century for a day. When a dog aged out of service or was wounded beyond recovery, it wasn't abandoned. Archaeological evidence shows some were buried with honor. Grave stelae, carved stone markers have been found depicting an old mastiff lying beside a Roman gladius. One inscription reads, "Fidelis custos, faithful guardian." Veterans often took their dogs home to farming villages, where they guarded homes and livestock for the rest of their lives. So why did the Canis Pugnax disappear? By the 3rd and 4th centuries CE, Roman warfare shifted. The army moved from disciplined infantry legions to mobile cavalry and frontier garrisons. Large, trained dogs required food, handlers, and time, resources that didn't fit this new model. And without centralized breeding, the pure lines faded through crossbreeding with local dogs. But their legacy survived. Modern Italian breeds like the Neapolitan Mastiff and Cane Corso carry clear physical and behavioral echoes: massive heads, loose skin, deep chests, and a natural guarding instinct. Genetic studies link them directly to Molossian stock. Even the column of Marcus Aurelius in Rome, carved in the late 2nd century CE, shows dogs marching in formation with soldiers. They aren't decorative, they're tactical. That single image proves the Roman war dog was real, respected, and operational. The Canis Pugnax wasn't just a dog, it was a product of Roman engineering, discipline, and battlefield necessity. Bred from Greek Molossians, refined with barbarian bloodlines, trained like a soldier, and deployed with tactical precision, it earned its place in the ranks of Rome's most effective weapons. Yet unlike swords, eagles, or war horses, it left no monuments. No general wrote a manual about it. But the soldiers who slept beside it, whose lives were saved by a growl in the dark, never forgot. Archaeology confirms its role. Grave markers show old mastiffs beside Roman swords. The column of Marcus Aurelius depicts dogs marching in formation. And historical accounts from Sardinia to Gaul prove they weren't symbolic, they were operational. Today, their descendants still walk among us. The Neapolitan Mastiff, the Cane Corso, massive, watchful, loyal. If you've ever felt a quiet respect or even unease around one of these dogs, you've felt the echo of the battlefield. This is the kind of history we uncover, real, overlooked, and deeply human. If you value stories like this, stories that challenge what we think we know about the past, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Because behind every empire, there are silent warriors history forgot. But we won't. Thank you for watching.